Are you ready to be truly free? They say you've made it when you are making money while you sleep. For many of us, this is the goal we strive for, having the money coming in while we're doing other things in our lives. The question is, how do we make that happen? Nowadays, it's much easier with technology. When I started in business back in 2007, in order for me to work from home, I had to leverage Go to My PC, which was a software that housed on my work computer that would allow me to log in remotely. It worked for the most part, but it had its challenges when the office computer would do an update and shut off, or we would lose power and it wouldn't turn back on. With the invention of better software, laptops, tablets, and smartphones, technology has changed the way we work, but I still believe we need people to help us leverage our time efficiently. Today I'm sharing with you 7 strategies and tools to leverage your time and business. Hey, my name is Sailynn and welcome to the Sailynn Show. I'm a life coach for women entrepreneurs, and this show is where I share my journey and techniques with you to help you shift from grinding to growing so you can live the life you really want without exhaustion and feelings of guilt. Each week, I empower you with tips and a free resource to help you live this one life that we were given. This week, I'm offering you an opportunity to check out my brand new free webinar, How to Shift from Fried to Free in 5 months without the fear of failure. During the webinar, I will share my story of how I went from working 80-plus hour weeks to working part-time while building a multi-million-dollar business. You can register for this webinar at passionpurposeposture.com/fried to free, and I'll also pop the link in the show notes below. Do you dream about waking up to sales or new clients or leads in your email inbox? I know I sure did. Luckily, I was not afraid of technology and was always game to try whatever was new if I thought it could better leverage my time. For 10 years, I ran a brick and mortar business in the senior home care industry where I had 4,000 square feet of office space and 17 team members. The biggest challenge as the leader was, how do I have a dedicated team who got done what needed to be accomplished in a 24/7 business while they were living their lives too? Technology, systems, and support. Then I sold that business and moved into the online industry, which was a total 180 for me, where I had to learn a lot in a short period of time. And I'm still learning more and more to this day. That's what you do as an entrepreneur, right? So let me share with you 7 strategies and tools to leverage your time and business. Number 1, my favorite, Google Calendar. I was introduced to the Google suite of products back in the early 2000s when I needed to share my calendar with my team. I was hesitant to make the switch from Outlook to Google, but I was instantly in love. To this day, this is my top performing and most loved piece of tech. I love that you can share your calendar, you can color code the items on your calendar, and you can easily drag and drop items where they need to be rebooked. It just works seamlessly in my world of having ultimate freedom. I'm not an advocate for electronic calendar and paper calendar. I highly recommend just one because it seems something always gets lost, or you don't have the paper version with you to check something when you're not home. Google Calendar has allowed me to work my business from all over the world. Number 2, Trello. I was introduced to Trello about a year or 2 ago when I needed to collaborate with a few people on a project. This software has a free and paid version to choose from, but the free worked really well. It allows you to see your project, who is responsible for tasks, and you can mark them completed, reassign them, or move them to a new date. I highly recommend this if you work with a VA or a team who needs to see the big picture of a project and the users are all in different locations. Number 3, Cinchshare or Facebook Scheduler. If you run a business that relies on posting on social media, you must invest in a scheduling software. If you're new to scheduling and using Facebook, you can use their free version for pages or groups, but not your own profile. I personally love Cinchshare for Facebook posting. It's simple and I can batch content for 3 months at a time for my Facebook groups. Speaking of batching, if you want to truly not be glued to your work, you need to group all the same tasks together at the same time. For instance, I'm taping 5 weeks worth of video topics all in one day instead of doing them weekly. This frees me from the stress of finding time to do one weekly. Think about what social media posting you need to do in your business and how you can batch it, then schedule it with a software provider. Number 4, your network. The people you know could be one of the ways to becoming free. I love to be a connector, which means I know someone with a need and someone else who has a service, and I connect them. The more people you know, the more resources you have available to you. This could be someone to bounce ideas off, someone to give you a referral, or even someone to provide you a service of their own. Think about what you need and who you know that could help. This is the power of your network. Number 5, hiring a service provider. I want you to figure out how much your time is worth. Is it worth $10 for 2 hours where you can place an order through Whole Foods through the Amazon app and have them deliver your groceries to you versus you getting in the car, doing the shopping yourself, and then driving back home? Would that be worth the $10 delivery fee? What about housekeeping? Would it be worth paying someone $100 for 2 hours to clean your house once a month versus you having to find the time, deal with the aggravation, and not being able to complete that business project because you had to clean up? Time is one thing we cannot get more of, so really think about what your time is worth when deciding to hire a service provider. Number 6, a paid support team. I made the decision to hire my first employee in my franchise from day one. I knew that I would not be able to build the business the right way alone. I needed to be on the road focused on marketing, and she needed to be in the office hiring and scheduling. So I made that decision from the start. Now my coaching business is just me and it's working. When it becomes too much, I'll hire a VA and outsource some of my needs. And number 7, mentors and coaches. This is where I made my biggest mistake in business in my first go-round. I initially set myself up for success by purchasing a franchise, but then I did not hire a coach when I was stuck, stressed out, and on the edge of burnout. I knew I needed someone, but I was too stubborn to ask for help. My ego got in the way, and I guess honestly, I'm not sure I felt worthy enough to have that one-on-one help. Regardless, it held me back. It took me 2 long years to get from where I was to where I wanted to be, and I now know that if I had invested in myself, that process would have been faster. Needless to say, I did not make that mistake the second time around. In summary, sit down and assess all the technology, systems, and support you could utilize in your life and business to truly set you free. The ability to have your business running while you're living your one life will change your life. Again, I have empowered you with tips and a free resource to help you live this one life we were given. This week, I'm offering you an opportunity to check out my brand new free webinar, How to Shift from Fried to Free in 5 months Without Fear of Failure. During the webinar, I'll share my story of how I went from working 80-plus hour weeks to working part-time while building a multi-million-dollar business. You can register for this webinar at passionpurposeposture.com/fried2free. And I'll also pop the link in the show notes below. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, click my profile picture to get notified weekly of new episodes. And don't forget to live this one life you were given.